Hello and welcome to the Greek for the week. So we're in Luke 13, 8 and 9 today. And I chose these verses because when I looked at it, the Greek yesterday, I was a little bit puzzled by it. So I decided, hey, I'm not going to let this thing beat me. So we begin with verse 8. Hoda apokrythes lege auto. And so de is post positive. It never comes on time. It's always late. It's procrastinator, but we translate it first. And he, this is an unusual use of the article where it basically is used as a pronoun. But he answering, or yes, but he answering says to the, so you have two people here in this parable. It's a little parable of the fig tree. So you have the owner of the fig tree, and then you have the person who takes care of the fig tree. And the owner of the fig tree wants to tear it down. And the vine dresser says this. He, that is the vine dresser, answering the owner, says to him, Master, Lord, Sir, maybe Sir would be fine, but there is a double entendre here, and I think in other places where the word Sir in the parable doubles for Lord in the meaning. Jesus is Lord, for example. So it's a double entendre, I think. Sir, leave it. That is the fig tree. Fig tree is suke, so it's a feminine word, which is why it is feminine here. Okay, so aphes is from a phiemi, and a phiemi is it's a little bit irregular. You can see that a lot of, all we're left with is the preposition in this one letter. Because the iota is not there, I know it's not present. One of the things about me verbs is they have an iota in the present system. So this is an aorist imperative. Aorist active imperative, second singular from aphiemi. Let it go, let it go. Anyway, so um, I'm not quite sure how to tell you to remember that. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of irregular. It's just as with so many things, just memorize it. So anyway, let it stay. We're going to leave the fig tree another year, he says. Even this year. Now I had to move my box here. I don't know quite how it shows on the recording. Let me put it back up at the top here. Leave it even this the year. Etos, to etos. So kurie aphes autain kai tuto to etos. Leave it even this year. Heos hato to scopso peri autain. Kai balo capria. Okay, so leave it this year until when I will dig around it and I will throw dung. So I'm going to fertilize it, in other words. Give me a year to work on this thing. So scopso is future. Psi is the key to a hidden sigma, so it's a hidden sigma. It's future active indicative first singular from scopo or scopto. I'm not sure what the word is. It only appears like twice, I think, in the New Testament. So it's like scopto. I will dig around it, around the fig tree, and I will cast a dunghill. I will put manure on it. Okay, balo is the future of balo. In the present system, it has two lambdas, but outside of the present system, it loses one of the lambdas. So this is a future. It's ballistic. I've got I've got a manure gun here. Anyway, it's a different kind of ballistics. Anyway, so give me a year. I'm going to fertilize this thing. I'm going to give it some tender love and care, and then so here's the next verse. I think this is where the next verse 9 begins. Con men poiese carpon eis tomelon. So this is a crassus. We've got a crash of two words, kai eon. Kai is and, eon is if. Eon is the iffy if. And so eon, subjunctive is coming. And so I'm not surprised to find a subjunctive here in poiese. Men is we call it a correlative. It's on the one hand, on the other. So we have a contrastive statement. The first part of the verse is on the one hand, and then the second part of the verse is on the other hand. We call that a men-de construction, where men is in the first half and de is in the second half. Both of them are procrastinators. Both of them are postpositives. Both of them never come first, even though you often translate them first. So, and if on the one hand, it should make fruit. Sorry, let me space it out a little here. There, now it's a better interlinear. And if, on the one hand, it should make fruit unto the coming year, for the coming year, okay? So this is a subjunctive. A is third person singular. In the indicative, it would be epsilon iota. In the subjunctive, the epsilon gets fried to an eta, and the iota is hanging on for dear life. So this is third person singular, active subjunctive. Now, a sigma, like up here in the indicative, a sigma means future, but in the subjunctive, a sigma means aorist. I'm sorry, I didn't make up the language. So this is an aorist active subjunctive, third singular from poieo. So, and if it should make carpon, if it should make fruit, eis to melon, unto the coming year. So etos is neuter. See, that article never lies. Etos is neuter, so this is neuter. Unto the coming year is this threw me off because of the way interlinear had put the punctuation. I think messed up the punctuation, if I understand it correctly. So for the coming year, this is a participle. Mello means I am about to. So for the about to be year. Article never lies. It is neuter. It is neuter accusative singular. It is a present active participle. And I'm sorry, that's just the neuter nominative singular participle ending in the present tense. So lu, on, u, sa, on. So this is the neuter nominative singular participle. That song I started is all of the nominatives of the participles. Okay, so, and if it should make fruit unto the coming year, and it doesn't really finish the thought. The thought is, on the one hand, if it makes fruit for the coming year, great. So many words. But if not indeed, and so this is the other part. Now this is interesting. This used the iffy if, this uses the not iffy if. But if it is not the case. So this is more iffy. This is if this is true, if not indeed. Mega, Ada mega. But if not indeed, ekapse sautain, you will cut it off. Interesting, the vine dresser isn't the one that cuts it off. It's the Lord that cuts it off. And this is a reference, I think, to the judgment. And I think what Luke is talking about here, Luke is implying that there's going to be a little time in between Jesus going to heaven and Jesus coming back to cut some trees down. We're in the middle of time. And so the vine dresser asks for a little time to see if he can get some fruit to come. Interesting, there's no hope in Matthew and Mark when Jesus curses the fig tree. But Luke is looking at a different situation, I think. And so he spreads out he gives another day, another year to try to get fruit. Well, grammar here, ekapses, psi is the key to a hidden sigma. It's a future. So this is a future active indicative, second singular from ekapto, to cut off. And again, it refers to the fig tree. So this has been Luke 13, 8, and 9 are Greek for the week.